Good day. My name is Brian Wickman. I'm the Outreach Coordinator for the National Institute for Direct Instruction, NIFDI. It's my pleasure today to be joined with Selina Ortiz, Assistant Principal for Instruction at IDEA Edinberg Academy, as she described, deep in the south of Texas. And so, Selina, thank you so much for giving your time today to talk to us about partnering with NIFDI.
Yes, of course. Anything for NIFDI. And good morning to you.
And thank you. So, I'd like you to start with just if you could describe your use and your experience with direct instruction.
So my experience, I've about 9 years of experience with direct instruction, specifically with NIFDI. Over the last few years, I had taught it for about 5 years, and so very familiar with the RMSEK programs, RMSE 1, RMSE 2. And so also implementation of CMCA and DISTAR Math, E2E. And so we actually still use the E2E. This year is our first year, though, in the transformations program, which is RMTK, RMT1, and RMT2. We have a variety of these programs that have been placed between pre-K, kinder, first and second grade, even up until decoding. So decoding is one of the ones that we've kept that has since changed from the programs, and E2E is something that we've kept in pre-K. And then also in the implementation of the newer programs in language as well for the transformations.
And that E2E, that's Espanol to English, right?
Yes, sir, that is correct. Espanol to English. And this one is done strategically when we identify our English language learners. Specifically at the beginning of the year when we've identified them in a certain cohort, we place them in that cohort, thank you very much, which makes the tracking so much better and the need very consistent when it comes to applying the program. It has so much more benefit because these students are primarily coming from a home in which they speak Spanish, and so offering a program in which it's integrated with their home language benefits them because the transition to the program has a great alignment to do so.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, actually, I've heard some students that talk about how they are the only English speakers in their home, or maybe a sibling also, and with great pride they talk about, I'm teaching my parents English.
Yes, and it's very true because we do have a lot of those families that the very first generation of English speakers come to our campus, and we take great pride in that too, because even as the students are learning, the families are learning as well, and so it becomes like a very big family involvement too. And so the economy of language in which we use is very consistent, and so it's easy for families to come in and be invested as stakeholders because it starts very early on where the language consistency begins in pre-K and then it transcends into the second grade program. So the consistency helps out incredibly much so. But not only does that, it's the cohorts, the way that these students are grouped and the way that it's very aligned with the level of knowledge that they come in with, and then the pacing that we're able to fluctuate them between groups with.
Excellent, excellent. So what's been the effect of NIFDI support on your campus?
Oh man, I guess the benefits is really the data tracking. I thrive off of data, and the fact is that we collect data every week. And that is more consistent than you were to see in any other content. The data tracking in itself is done weekly, and I get to track students and see either their growth or if there's certain skills that they might need remedies in, or also the glowing portions, like are they moving quickly through this program, and integrating certain steps that NIFDI provides, and they give us great feedback, and they also have a great outlook when it comes down to data. They can just see the data and give you remedies just from reviewing data information. And you pick up on those techniques and you apply it into even when you go into a classroom or you're reviewing data, And these calls that you do have with them, known as the PSS, the problem solving solution calls, the PSS calls, those are the ones that have helped out the most as well, because they're done weekly. It's some sort of accountability as well. When you're not only able to guide your teachers more by reviewing the data that NIFDI helps you with as far as the support, but also when they're here in the classrooms, it's great to have an extra pair of expertise eyes on them, because they are so well versed with this program, and it offers a different type of solution when we get in there.
Excellent. Speaking of the data, so you're talking about the weekly collection of the data from the classrooms, each group and whatnot. The teachers are doing that daily. How do the teachers feel? Can you give some indication of how they feel about the data keeping task or burden?
And it's actually beneficial, and in essence, because it saves time as far as lesson planning, and they do an internalization of practice sessions. It aligns with what the lesson pacing should look like and what mastery is. So they use it as a guide as well. If they're noticing that majority of their group, and we have percentages attached, 90% of their group is at mastery, or 100% of their group, we can actually tie these to percentages and really be able to either make that lesson pacing go a little bit quicker, or we can actually slow that lesson pacing down. And so the teachers have really gained so much knowledge behind data tracking. It's become very habitual for them, and they love the consistency with it. It gives them a great guideline of not only end of week goals, end of month goals, but the end of year goal as well.
Excellent. So over the course of partnering with NIFDI, and you've been involved for 9 years with that, what changes have you noted in the instructional practices of your instructors?
Of the instructors, the teachers?
Yes.
They have been a lot more invested over the recent years, because the programs, although they can be interchangeable, the tools that they are taught, such as the correction procedure, the individual turns, the signaling, all of those components can be applicable to different programs. And so they're a lot more invested in learning a different program versus if they were outside learning contents or different curriculums. They are apprehensive about that. But when it comes down to direct instruction specifically, all the tools and resources in which they're taught during trainings are applicable towards an array of different programs. And so when they enter into a different program, the only thing that they're learning how to do again is basically done during practice sessions. And it's the script piece, because they have signaling down, they have individual turns down, they have the correction procedure. And so it makes them a lot more comfortable in transitioning students either to quicken those lessons to finish that program and enter into a new one. And so it gives them a lot more knowledge in an array of different programs.
Excellent, Selina. Thanks for that. So I'm going to give you the opportunity, if you have any parting words of advice to folks who may be considering utilizing, partnering with NIFDI, or any perspectives that you may want to share that I haven't given you the opportunity to so far.
I think as an administrator, I thrive off of data points and also targeting all students of need. And the program has such a beautiful way of integrating all students from all backgrounds and all languages as well, in terms of where we are targeted in our economical state. And so with that being said, we have really truly defined direct instruction as part of our only curriculum as building foundational need. And now that it has changed and it's integrated not only letter names and letter sounds, spelling and writing, it has more of an alignment towards the other grade levels once they ascend into the star grade levels, more specifically so. But NIFDI has been such a game changer in terms of building the confidence in the students. They have fun with the program. It is easy for them to follow along. And not only that, the teachers make it very fun as well. So it gives them the autonomy to be able to implement their own version of what the teacher implementation looks like without sacrificing the integrity of the actual program's objective. And so it's done beautifully. It's very friendly in terms of teacher planning, but also most importantly, the students have made so much progress in fluency and comprehension. And those are the basic foundational skills that they were needing in order to be successful in the years to come.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for your time. I wish you great success for your staff, your students, and thank you again for agreeing to chat with us today.
Yes, of course, anytime, anything you all need.